What's up guys, it's Dingers Daily, and for today's video, we're going to be talking about Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers, pretty much breaking down Game 2, why Kawhi Leonard should definitely leave LA, and then why he's just in such a bad situation. Before we start the video, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that like button. We're also going to be doing these NBA streams for the playoffs where it's just like me reacting and giving you guys my analysis with commentary and stuff. It's just going to be a cool environment for NBA fans to talk about the game, what they think about everything. So yeah, we're going to be doing more of those, so make sure you guys subscribe so you never miss out on any of our playoff streams because those are just going to be fun. But yeah, anyways, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that like button. Great videos will be coming out for the playoffs. To start things off, let's talk about Kawhi Leonard's performance yesterday night in Game 2. Kawhi had an amazing offensive night. He had 30 points in the first half. He had 41 points total, shot great from the line, pretty good field goal. He had an amazing offensive night. And he also had a pretty good defensive night. But the thing is, like I said, 30 points in the first half, 11 in the second half. 41 overall is still really, really good. But the one problem is, in that fourth quarter, he could not just be efficient and do what he did because he's not a guy you play, 40 minutes a game like a Steph Curry, like a LeBron James in that Game 7 or just a playoff game type atmosphere because, this is Kawhi. Load management exists. And ever since that injury in San Antonio that caused him to, get frustrated, and then the trade to Toronto, everything, what I'm talking about. Ever since then, he hasn't really been a guy that you put in for 40 minutes and he can give you hard, intense, good basketball for all 40 of those minutes. Like another superstar like a Curry or LeBron would. Because not everybody's like that, built like that. But Kawhi had a great game. It just the bench definitely needs to get better for the Clippers. And that's why Kawhi, I think, personally, should definitely leave the Clippers this offseason. Because if you look at the game yesterday, Paul George had a good game for being his second hand. But then again, you never know what he can do in the playoffs, especially because last year struggles. This year he looks to be doing pretty good, above average for himself, definitely to start off. But the rest of the supporting cast, they didn't play Ibaka. Ibaka is a good defender. You need that stuff. Ibaka could definitely do some stuff. And he's a pretty good shooter as well, and he can do some stuff for you on offense. Especially because Ivica Zubac was pretty much doing not much after a pretty good game in Game 1. So I think they should play Ibaka more. Luke Kennard signed for $18 million to sit on your bench. He's getting DNPs, did not play. Coach's decision. You're telling me Tyronn Lue is sitting this man? They paid $18 million per year. Then why sign him in the first place? There are some guys who could definitely play over. Rajon Rondo, not a great game. Same thing with Patrick Beverley. He's a defender, right? That's what he's going to bring to you. Defense, some hard-nosed, good basketball, intense basketball. He didn't bring that. Luka definitely just beat him a bunch. And like I said in the video yesterday of how the Mavs could win, they did use that. And Kawhi had a great offensive performance, like I said. But the thing is, the Clippers just could not contain Luka, and that's how they need to win the series. If they can at least Luka scoring 40 pretty much. If they can take that down to 35, and then they can take off an assist or two, and then they could stop Tim Hardaway Jr. for being the second player to be amazing on this team. He's giving you 20, 25-ish plus points. So if they can stop Tim Hardaway, that shouldn't be too hard. Tim Hardaway is a pretty good offensive player, but the thing is, the Clippers need to stop him. I know Luka's going to ball out. There's no other way other than that. I'd rather them play more guys like Ibaka and Luke Kennard and just their best overall players that they can play in the court instead of playing people for not many minutes. Alright, next, let's talk about why Kawhi should definitely leave this offseason. There are a number of teams he can go to. We'll talk about that in a later video if the Clippers do get eliminated early in the playoffs for sure. But why he should leave, in my opinion, is because he just doesn't have a good supporting cast to win. Paul George is nice. And then the other people, they're extremely inconsistent. Reggie Jackson had an okay game. Like Patrick Beverley could do good, Marcus Morris could do good, but they're inconsistent. Like Marcus Morris is usually a good player, but he hasn't really been that. They're like third best scorer when it comes to scoring. Like he hasn't been the third best scorer this series. He's had two pretty bad games, in my opinion, this series. And then just Reggie Jackson, like I would not want. I mean, Reggie Jackson's a cool little NBA cool player, but like I wouldn't want like Reggie Jackson to be getting a bunch of minutes. If you look at the box score, you might have thought he did good, but I don't think he had a great game either. So I mean, it's just like he doesn't have a great supporting cast that'll take that has like enough depth. They have depth. They just have to know how to use the depth properly, and that's the thing the Clippers are not doing well. Tyronn Lue has to better manage that if they want to stay in this series, they want to beat Luka, and if they want to keep Kawhi in their long-term plan. And the last thing to say, if Kawhi is carrying the offense, like you can't expect him to go out and then also guard the other team's best player, who is a future Hall of Famer, MVP type player at 22 years old in his second ever playoffs, is balling out like crazy. Like, how do you expect Kawhi to just score 40 points and then come guard him? Like, this is a guy who, like I said previously in the video, load management issues. He's not like a guy who play 40 minutes, so obviously he's going to be tired. And when Kawhi sits on the bench, the Clippers have to do something because they can't just depend on Kawhi. And somebody else needs to pick up on Luka and guard him, and at least, I'm not saying clamp him, like make him have a terrible game, but just contain him a bit more than what they're doing already. Because what's happening right now to the Clippers, they lost 2 home games, and now they have to go to Dallas, and we'll see what happens. But the signs are pointing to Kawhi leaving in free agency. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you liked it. Again, hit that like button if you like this video, and then talk to me in the comments where you think Kawhi would go or what the Clippers should do just to beat the Mavericks. But again, like I said, NBA playoff streams, like there's one today night at 7:30. Depending on when you see this video, it might already be passed, or it might